Hey everyone, it's Danny here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am working with Whimsy stamps and I am using one of these September 2019 digital releases. This is Pumpkin Penguin Patch. I am colouring the image up using Copic markers. I have already printed the image onto some Express It blending cardstock using my Brother laser printer, which is completely Copic safe. That means that there will be no bleeding between the ink and the Copic ink. So I'm just working my way through, starting with the pumpkin because that's my biggest area. I love colouring pumpkins. We don't celebrate Halloween or Thanksgiving or anything here in Australia, so I do love colouring them. I don't eat them. Ugh, no to pumpkin. That's just not going to happen. So I'm working my way through. I love colouring with Copic orange markers, the YR markers. They just blend so nicely together. It's like there's no gap between the markers. They just go from one to one to one. I really enjoy it. So that is the bigger area of the pumpkin all coloured up. I'm just colouring in the top of the pumpkin and then we'll get started on the little penguins. So for my pumpkin image, I'm using YR12, YR14, YR18, E09 and E23. And then we're going on to the penguins. I am using T2, T4, the Zero Color Splendor, and some R20 for the cheeks. So when we colour a white image in, we do need to add shadows and things in, otherwise they're going to be lifeless, so that's why we use those light, whether it be the T's, the C's, the W's, whatever you want to use, that's why we use those markers, and then we blend it down with the Zero Color Splendor, giving them all the shadows and making sure that they are full of life. On the black areas of the image, I am using T6, T8 and T10. Just mapping out all the darkest areas and then I'll go back in and blend it all out. I did do one penguin at a time, I think, from memory. The reason I like to do that is just because the Copic, the Express It cardstock is still quite moist and that allows those markers to blend quite easily. So just working my way through colouring all of those bits and pieces in. Now I'm going with these leaves. With these leaves I kind of just winged it and threw a few different colours in, blotted in a bit of colour and blended it all out just to give it that autumn look. Like the autumn leaves are never perfectly brown, they're never perfectly green, they're just kind of blotchy is the only way that I can explain this. So that's why I've thrown in a few different colours and then mixed it all in together. So now we're moving on to the second second penguin, and I am pulling in some more autumn colours. I'm going with the more, what do we call them? We call them an army green here. I'm not sure what you guys call them over there. So I'm using G94, G94, BG96 and G99. So I didn't get to finish colouring in the whole image on camera. Unfortunately, I did lose a little bit of my camera feed when my battery died. I was lucky enough to save what I could. So this is now the card process. So the image is all coloured up. That second penguin I coloured pretty much the same way that I coloured the first one. So you didn't miss much. I'm cutting him down to size just using my Tim Holtz guillotine. I did need him to be quite small because I had printed the image quite large. So I'm going through my Craft Mismatch paper pad. I've used that paper pad a couple of times this week. There's not a lot of full sheets left in the paper pad, so I'm just trying to work out a way that I can use a few of those leftover strips and things from other projects. I do keep all of my leftover pieces inside the paper pad, and then I pop a clip around the bottom so that they don't fall out. I'm adding a doily in underneath from my stash, and then I'm going to pull in some American Craft black and white cardstocks and some Frenchville craft cardstock. So I've got all of these products linked up. I always link up other products that are similar as well, just in case you can't get a certain product where you are. I'm just adding some orange cardstock behind those penguins just to break it up a little bit. And just working my way through, trying to work out what I'm going to do here. I am off to the side there decorating the inside of the card as well, ready to go. And then I'll adhere both of them down to a Kucha Creations card base. So I still wasn't finished with the front yet, still trying to decide what I'm going to do. where I decide to pull in those black and white layers, adhering them all together using my Scotch ATG gun, and then layering everything down one at a time. Popping the pattern paper down, adding some strips, popping down my doily and then my image. And so this is the inside of the card, layering that up much the same. And now I'm just trying to work out what else I can add onto this card. So I decided to add some more of those pattern paper strips on the card and just created some banners using my EK Success scissors. Adhering those down just using some of that Scotch ATG, and then I'll just cut off the excess. I cut some down for the inside of the card as well. And then this is a Kucha Creations card base, so just making sure it's all nice and smooth using my bone folder. And then I'll adhere the front down, adhere the inside down. I will add some white cardstock to the inside of the card as well so that it can be written in. And now I'm pulling out my Favorite Things Kind Thanks stamp set. I wanted a small thank you stamp set, but something nice. So this sentiment just worked perfectly. I stamped it onto some vellum so that I could wrap it around the card, just using some Zing embossing powder in the metallic finish. I did prep that surface before I done the stamping as well, and I just heated it with the heat tool. Off camera, I did cut down some stitched leaves from Lawn Fawn, just using some leftover cardstock and vellums. So that's all those leaves there. I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!